Hello, how are you doing, Shelby? Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. Welcome to this Grandma's March event and to this space. I'm really happy to have you here. Yeah, we
I'm
have
so
had,
happy to be here.
I
Thank you.
know, thank you, and that you made the space. Just Shelby just had a newborn baby, so yeah, that's amazing that you were able to make it happen. And yeah, we're here.
Where there's a will, there's a way. I was determined.
There you go. That's true. That's true. So yeah, this is one more session of Grandma's March 2024, and the theme for this year is it's time to revive our roots and ask ourselves what did we do once we knew. And that last question comes inspired from a poem. It was Drew Dellinger who wrote it, and the name of the poem is "What Did You Do Once You Knew?" And just summarizing it is he wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning with his great grandchildren asking him, what are you going to do once you knew everything that is going on the planet, and you know what is happening with the weather, with the climate and everything. So it's pretty much like, okay, what are we leaving as a legacy? What are we, creating an impact in this world? And it starts with sometimes with a book, like what you're doing, leaving a legacy, leaving your memories for the future generations. So I love that you're doing it. And recently, I think I was, because of course all my project is inspired in my own grandmother's, Rosita and Peppa, and that's the original name of the project. I have this account in Instagram, and suddenly something show up about your Instagram account, because our accounts are probably related, and because of your book. And I saw it and I said, well, I have to contact her. I would love to know the story. And that's the way we got connected. And we're here today. So through our grandmothers, which I love that.
I
Yeah,
love that. If there's any connection with someone else through a grandmother, then it's a good
it's
connection and a good
a
relationship.
great connection. It is true. So yeah, before we start, let me just do a very brief introduction, and then the space is yours for tell us a little bit of your story and the connection you had with your grandma growing up. So it's kind of reviving your roots and any memories or any story, and just tell a little bit about yourself and what got you inspired into the book and all the work that you're doing today. Um,
Okay, great.
Good. So Shelby Hoefling was built a following on Instagram, sharing precious moments with her grandma, her best friend, and known as Nanny. I love that. Nanny passed away recently at the age of 98. What a blessing. She was there
Hmm.
a long time.
Very
And
full life.
oh my God, but spent many hours with Shelby sharing words of wisdom that Shelby continues to share with her followers to inspire and spread positivity and kindness. This precious relationship inspired Shelby to write a book called Grandmas in the Phone to teach children how to have quality FaceTime calls with grandparents. As Shelby's mission is to help cultivate a close bond between grandchildren and grandparents, no matter the distance between them. I love it. When now editing videos for her Instagram, she works full time for Dash Media, a company that helps to share stories from retirement communities to their social media. That is so interesting as well. So it's all connected at the end.
Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, tell us your story and how was that connection? How did you get into that book and everything? I just can't wait.
Yes, wonderful. Gosh, well, it's a long story. It's definitely could be
Right.
very detailed, but to shorten it a little bit, just kind of starting from the beginning, I've always had a special relationship with my grandma, my nanny, and I definitely just have always, loved spending time with her growing up. And it was right around college, I would say, when you start to kind of feel a little bit more confident in yourself and you're not worried about what people think about you. So I think in high school I was a little bit shy about like my grandparents coming to my volleyball games and things like that. But then in college I was confident about how much I love my grandparents and how I love to spend time with them. So even in college, there were some spring breaks where I just spent going to visit them rather than going and doing fun spring break plans with friends. So, I just really wanted to embrace my relationship with them. I knew that my grandparents were extremely special. I have always had a very strong love for seniors. Most people, kind of funny, like most people, you kind of walk down the street and you see a cute dog or a little
It's
baby, and you're like,
true.
oh, look at them, right? But for me, it's if I see seniors walking, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, whether, and it doesn't even matter what their personality is. I think to me, it's just, I love them so much because I see them and I see almost like this aura of wisdom and experience around them, and it's just so beautiful to see someone of an older age who's, like, lived a full life. So I've just always really gravitated towards seniors. So, in college, had a really strong relationship with my grandparents, but I also, studied human development at Virginia Tech and, with a focus on gerontology. So, was
How
gravitating
interesting.
towards that. Yep, and then I worked at an adult day center, so just have always really loved
Mhm.
seniors. And then, soon after that, once I graduated, just again, going back to wanting to have that relationship with my grandparents, it was a priority of mine to have a close relationship with my grandparents. So it was very often that I would be driving to go visit them. They lived 2 hours away from me,
Mhm.
and just spending as much time as I could with them. I've always had the best conversations, especially with my nanny, just learning from her, getting her life advice, and it's when you just have that person in your life that makes you feel so good, like, it just, like, makes you feel good, right? It fills your
Yes.
heart, and you feel your best self when you're with them. So that's just how I felt with my grandma, with my nanny,
Mm.
and so we just always had so much fun together, and then soon after that, I got a job that moved me out to Los Angeles,
Mhm.
and so I would FaceTime with my nanny all the time, and
Oh.
I would as often as I could,
Uh-huh.
and I would do little surprise visits. I would try and surprise them whenever I could, which it got to
I
a point
love it.
where people were telling me to stop because it was a little bit worrisome as far as
Like
a heart
afraid
attack.
of, yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
know. I love it.
But I couldn't help it. It was just so fun. So I would try and surprise them when I could. But while I was out there, I had the idea of, okay, I love FaceTiming with my grandma. There should be a children's book that kind of is about this. So that's really what inspired the children's book was
Wow.
I love my relationship with my grandma. And I love that we FaceTime, but there's so much that can be done on a FaceTime. Of course, I'm older doing these FaceTimes with her, but what about, a young child who wants to have a close
Yeah.
relationship with their grandparent? And that's something that I really do feel strongly about is not only is it beneficial for the grandchild to have that relationship with a grandparent, but it is life-changing for a grandparent to feel loved and wanted by the
Connected.
grandchild.
Mm.
Yep. So, just to make them feel even like not lonely or less lonely, to feel important, to feel like they can provide something for that grandchild's life, to teach them things. So, I think it's super important, and life can get so busy that parents can only do so much as far as, encouraging that relationship. And so, my children's book was a way for me to be able to do what I can to encourage that relationship and it's just so good for their quality of life as well, for their health and their happiness for seniors. So that's really where kind of it all kind of came together in my
Mhm.
mind.
Mhm.
And I had also nannied a bunch of different kind of ages of kids, and I always noticed when they would FaceTime, they would have their phone and kind of go all over and not really pay
Yeah.
attention and
I have 2
right.
nephews, and I know how it is because they don't live close by, but it's like they are just doing something, and I just hear
Yes.
their voices. Oh, so interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, they're all over, and as the nanny, when I would be, like, babysitting, I would see that the grandparents, they know not to take it personal, they know that the child is just being a child, but you know that they want to have, like, a little bit more of an interaction on the
Okay.
phone. So if
Yes.
I could help that in any way, that was kind of the goal.
Oh, I
So
love
the
it.
book then so it was inspired by all of that. Fast forward, I then moved back to the East Coast from LA. Ultimately, the main reason everybody told me, "Why are you moving? You love LA," all of that. And the main reason was I didn't want to regret not spending time with my grandma. And I'm
Hmm.
so happy that I did because when I moved back, I think we got a good 4, um, about 4 gosh, it's escaping me now, but about 4 or 5 years. My grandpa unfortunately passed away basically the week that I moved home, which
Oh,
was kinda crazy timing, but at the same time, it was almost more of a reason for me to be there for my grandma.
wow, closer.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, I'm so happy I did that. I have no regrets, and I think that life is, all about prioritizing, and so for me, the priority was the relationships that I had with people in my family, and then next up is, okay, the location of where you live, and so I loved California, but I didn't wanna miss out on those moments with my grandparents, and I'm close with my parents too. So I'm really happy I did, and we got to have so many moments together and create so many memories, and then soon after that, that's when I then wrote the children's book once I had moved back, and so Nanny was really excited about that,
Oh,
and so
so she
yeah, so now
knew
it's on.
about it. Okay, so you wrote it
Yes.
like when she was still alive. Oh my God, that's
Yes.
exciting.
Yes, and she got the first, copy as well, so I signed it
Oh.
for her. Yeah, it's really cute. I have it on video, and I gave it to her, and she just reacts and goes, "It's the book." So she was really
That's
excited,
cute.
and so that was really sweet. I gave her the first copy, but then she also wanted to buy the first book, so I also have, like,
Oh no, I
a
love it.
picture of when she gave me the first check for a book. But yeah, so no, ultimately, I just wanted to be able to encourage children and help them to have those quality phone conversations with grandparents. And that can be like the nitty gritty of what's a FaceTime call like, but even beyond that, kind of my whole Instagram and everything that I really stand for is if you have a relationship with your grandparent, really, really do something with it. So, but I know, of course, like sometimes you just vibe a little bit better. It's not like all grandparents and all grandchildren are going to have this super special relationship.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, if you have something that you can take advantage of, do because there's so much to learn from them. And I just think that that relationship is the most unique and special relationship that is out there. So that's just really what I encourage of others and what I have found to be the most beautiful thing in my life. And yeah, so my nanny and I, we had so many memories together. Even in the past year, she was able to be a part of when I found out I was pregnant, and then
Oh,
when I got married, when I got engaged, and all these things that we had both always talked about my whole life of what it's going to be like. And so we got to do all of that together, and she had a very full life, and our favorite thing to do together was to sit and I would just ask her for advice and words of wisdom. And so that then led to I always knew that I didn't want to kind of miss any of these things later, and I knew the questions that maybe I would want to ask her now if she wasn't around later. So I've
right.
got a lot of just great videos of her telling me things, and I think a big thing that I stand for is for people to, in this day and age, to take advantage of those relationships with your grandparent or really anybody, and how you can find the happy like place in between of being present and asking questions, but also recording it so you can use that later in life. I think
Right.
there's a sweet spot, and I feel like it's an interesting time right now. A lot of people are like, put your phone away, be present. But you can be present with your phone out and then have these beautiful moments that you will
Yeah.
cherish for forever. So
Oh wow.
that's a lot of what I did with my nanny. I didn't capture everything at all, but I captured what I could. And then now I have these videos that I can cherish for forever. And I'll just sit on my phone and I'll just kind of scroll through and I'll pick something random and I'll say, okay, this is something that she wanted to tell me today. So that's something that I really do encourage for,
Mm.
anybody that I meet as well to take advantage of these opportunities to ask really big questions, even small questions though, and when you can to record it so that you can use it later, just for yourself, or you can share it with others. But just really taking advantage. And so that's kind of what I've been kind of built is this love for my grandma and then hopefully inspiring others too.
Oh my God, this is so inspirational. I love it because yeah, everything has started my connection with my grandmas, but unfortunately, when this project started, I'm originally from Colombia. I live in the US now, but when this project started, I was living in the US and they had already passed. So I had to search. I had an amazing connection growing with them, but I got to the point I was not able to ask some questions that I wanted when I was more conscious about that. Like, oh my God, like now I want to make
Yeah.
all these questions like you had that opportunity or doing the videos and that's like, it came all this project, but I started searching about their lives with my mother, my father, my aunts, or other people that know them through my memories that I had when I was a child, the connection that I had. And then I started
Oh,
interviewing other people, understanding, okay, this connection is so powerful and it's so amazing that I know there has to be more. And definitely
yes.
there has been in so many ways because it's not, what I realize is not just the connection to some people, they don't have access to their grandmothers because they passed or because they are far away or there are different stories of everybody. But there is ways to connect with elders, there is ways to connect to ancestral wisdom or to other kind of grandmothers that are in our lives,
Right.
so
Yes.
that's the idea. Yeah,
Yeah, and there's also, there's other relationships to connect with and also you can still learn from them in different ways.
there you go.
And I mean, for me and my nanny, like I knew that she wasn't gonna stay here for forever, but for what I could do to share videos, when she was alive and even now with her being gone, but still having some videos to share, it's just, there are people who don't have that relationship or don't have a grandma or grandpa.
Mhm.
So to be able to share what you can, like for me, my nanny is so special and she was so special to me that it felt wrong to kind of keep her to myself. So
Oh,
it's nice to find, things out there where it can remind you of your grandparent or, things like that. It's sweet. There's definitely very much of a place for it online to feel connected with others of who have those relationships.
yeah. So that's the Instagram. It's Shelby Hoefling. Hoefling, is
Yep.
that right?
Shelby
Okay.
Hoefling. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So there you can see all the videos, everything related to the book. The book, where can the people buy the book? How can we have access to it?
Yep. So it can be ordered through Amazon or
Amazon.
through me. On my Instagram, there's like a little link. So if anyone wants a signed copy, then it just comes right from me.
Awesome, amazing. But I would love to explore a little bit more about like because I love, especially like I find always there are lots of sensorial memories around, like especially when you're growing up, but like being at grandma's house or any smells or any food or anything in particular that you used to love playing that was at your grandma's. Is there anything that you remember like growing up, or I imagine there is, but
I have, well, I do have her perfume, and when I smell it, I
oh
think that it
wow.
feels like I'm giving her a big hug. So I smell that
Uh-huh.
every night. I love that. I brought it with me when I went into labor, and so
Yes.
I would
Oh, how
take kind of smells
sweet.
of it to
Like she's
calm me
here with
down.
me. Yeah.
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
And then I just remember visiting my nanny and being in the kitchen, playing with like my dolls and my Barbies and things like that when she was in there. I remember, I remember getting in trouble when I told her that I was bored one time because she said,
I love it.
don't you dare say you're bored. There are plenty of things that you can do." So I always think of that. Whenever I wanna think like I'm bored, I'm like, "No." I'm, like, scared of ever thinking that I'm bored. Never bored. "There's too much to do," she said. But yeah, I can think of, definitely smells bring me back. We always have loved getting ice cream together, so,
Oh,
I always think of her when I'm having ice cream, and she loved butter, and she loved, a lot of my followers know that about her, that she loved butter, so I think of her when I have butter, just little things.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, how sweet. That is so amazing. I love it. So, what do you like? Well, now you have a baby, of course. So now it's like, okay, what do you want to do in life? Is right now you're a mom and you want to take care of that baby. But it's like anything you dream for this book or the Instagram you're doing, or you just want
Yeah.
to spread it out there. Is there anything, just curious about that moving forward?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's a great question. I do so my work is my daytime job. I work for a company and we interview
Hmm.
seniors at retirement
Yeah.
communities and then we put their stories on their social media. So it helps with their sales and their recruitment. But for me personally, I miss being able to sit down with my grandma and ask her questions and get words of wisdom and I love the editing process of a video. I love just putting it online. So I miss that. And I loved being able to do that with my nanny. So I want to be able to do that with kind of like strangers, seniors that you see at the
Mm.
grocery store, things like that. I just feel like
Yeah.
I see them and I have this desire to want to talk to them and I want to approach them, but I never have the guts to do it. So I want to be able to do that more on my Instagram to just chat with them and ask them, whatever comes to mind. I feel like my nanny will guide me in a really good question to ask them and then
Yes.
put that advice online. Like I just love that we were able to, with me and my nanny, spread words of wisdom and inspire and change someone's day, shift their mood. And so if I could do that in some way on my Instagram, that's what I would love to do
Mm.
by
That sounds
finding some
amazing.
seniors. So I don't know how I'm going to, kind of put all that into action, but at some point that's my plan. And then
Mm.
I also have another idea of what I want to do with some of her words of wisdom. I want to kind of take it and put it like on I would love to have almost like a grandma focused or grandparent focused like almost apparel
Mm.
line. So it would be like some words of just like words of wisdom from seniors.
Uh-huh.
And most of the words of wisdom that I have right now are from my nanny. So one video that went viral that she had said was, "You've got to enjoy the little things in life." And so I think that would just be like a sweet quote to have on a shirt. So
Oh.
putting her words of wisdom on shirts or sweatshirts or things like that, but then also with it being a grandparent focus line, creating like onesies that say, "You're going to be a grandma." So, or creating a tea towel that you would buy grandma. My nanny and I always used to say to each other, "Have I told you today I love you? I do, you know." So we would say that every day on the phone. And so I think that would just be like a really sweet kind of tea towel that grandma has in
Yeah.
her kitchen, and it's a reminder that her grandchild loves the
Yeah, of
grandma.
course.
So those are some thoughts. So send me good
Wow.
vibes. I want
Uh-huh.
to do all
I
of it.
will for sure, because it's like we have to spread all that wisdom out there, because I'm passionate about the grandmothers, grandparents. So definitely excellent good vibes. And I love those ideas because that's a way that people can engage more with this. And as you said, like, I don't want to keep this for myself, because you were able
Right.
to have that blessing of having your amazing grandma and having that wisdom, and some people have not and they don't know. So it's like, if you can give this in other ways for people to have those connections, that will be so beautiful. Yeah, I love
Thank
it.
you. I
I
appreciate your support.
Yes, I love it. And if I can support, even better. So yes, I love that.
Thank
uh,
you.
yes, and I guess, well, we're 24 minutes, and I just want to understand a little bit of what exactly you were saying in the retirement community that you work. You help people to put things on social media. How is exactly that? Like, how does it work? I'm just curious, because that sounds very
Yeah.
interesting as well. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's amazing. I'm so happy that I found this company. So we're called Dash Media,
Uh-huh.
and it's funny how I had found them. The founder had found me through a TikTok video, I'm pretty sure, an Instagram video that went viral of mine, and he thought to reach out to see if we could kind of work together, more of a brand type deal. Once we started talking, then I learned about what it is that he does and what the company does, and I said, "Oh, that sounds amazing and I would love to be involved." And so I was working at retirement communities prior to that in sales. And so I took the shift to move over and work with this company. So what we do is we work with retirement communities
Uh-huh.
and we help their social media channels to reach more people, and then as well as just show people what it's like at their retirement community, what are the stories
Got
that can
it.
be shared
Okay.
from their residents,
Got
what are
it.
the
Got it.
relationships that are made between the staff and the residents. And so it's really great for their sales, and it's really great for their recruitment. And it's just right now retirement communities, or for so long retirement communities put so much of their money into their mailings and
Mm,
putting
mm,
stuff on TV and things like that. But as we all know, social media is huge,
it is.
and it definitely needs just as much attention. And so that's what we're here to do, is to help build their social media channels, and show people or share those stories from their communities.
Got
Like
it.
I said, it helps with sales and recruitment. So
Got
so
it.
we get to go to the retirement communities and sit down with seniors and get their stories and get their words of wisdom and things like that. So it's
Mm,
really a lot of
mm.
fun.
I love it. And it's interesting because when I heard you like at the beginning telling us about that, how what do you do, and like, oh, increasing sales. I don't know, at some point I thought that you were helping those seniors, the people or the elders, or to for them to increase their sales, like their own work, you know. And at some point when this project was born, one of the things I wanted to do is, okay, I want to spread the wisdom out there of the grandmothers, but also thinking what happens with the grandmothers that are alive today, that they also, it's very difficult for seniors to connect in the social media because they are not so connected to technology. They don't know.
Right.
Sometimes it's difficult for them to, financially sustain themselves. And sometimes they do things or sell things. And I was kind of inspiring my mother because she's a grandma now, but she's still full of energy, she can do things, but she doesn't know these little things. So there is an idea
Mhm.
as well. With this you can,
Yeah.
help
Help
senior
them teach,
people.
help them
Yeah, I
learn
know. So it's not like the
for social
retirement
media.
community, which is amazing, but also like, okay, help the seniors, like, okay, how can they, reach out social media, how can they share their own wisdom, or how can they, promote the things that they do. So
Yeah, no,
yeah,
totally.
yeah,
There's so much that they can learn and be connected
yeah,
online. I tried to
yeah.
teach my nanny how to use
Uh-huh.
social media, and it didn't really go well. I think that they have to want to learn it, and my nanny she was like, "No, I don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to."
No, no, no. There are
But
some
if
that
they
not,
want
but
to,
there are some
yeah.
that want to, but they just don't
Yep.
know and they don't have like where I'm gonna. So somebody has to teach them, somebody has to have patience and all these things. So yeah, there is also an opportunity there, I guess.
So true, so true.
Yeah,
That someone needs to
yeah.
make a course. I'm sure that there's courses out there, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure there is things. Actually, I'm gonna interview tomorrow. One girl, actually, she's from Colombia, and she has this amazing project that is called Compi, and is
Oh,
helping senior people in Colombia
uh-huh.
through that. So it's the students from university helping them how to use Zoom, how to use social media, but not in that other way. Like, okay, for them, just for them to have access and maybe do some company and with them and things like that. So yeah, it's gonna be
That's
in
so
Spanish, but
cool.
yeah. So many people like doing different things with this, which is amazing. It's so needed. Yeah.
That's so cool, that's so cool. I'm gonna have to try
I hear,
and will there be a
baby.
translator? Yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
know the
yeah,
babies,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yes, when it goes to the YouTube channel, you can translate it. So you can put the
Okay.
subtitles and translate it. So yeah, I can definitely
Oh,
watch it
perfect, I
after.
love
Yeah,
that. I can't wait
yeah.
to see all the all the other people that you interview. It's gonna be
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah, lots of interesting people and good ideas and inspiration for sure, or good connections. A lot of people have connected between them. It's like, oh, I love your project. Maybe we can collaborate. So yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay, I'm gonna
yeah,
watch.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
good. Okay, well, I want to thank you. I don't want to take more time. We're already just like, okay, 30 minutes, and the baby's already, I can hear it.
Thank you. Yep, I
Yeah.
think I need to go pick up the baby.
Yes, 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 yes. So thank you for sharing, for really like sharing the story. It's beautiful. Thank you for that connection with your grandma and not keeping it just for yourself, but spreading it out there and bringing it to everybody for writing the book. And as I said before, I hope this is not the first one, but the first one of many others. And who knows, we can also collaborate so many other things.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Monica. I really appreciate it, and I love what you're doing so, so much. I appreciate your support, so thank you.
Oh, thank you as well. I love what you're doing too. So thank you. We're in the same. Well, thanks everybody and have a great rest of your day, afternoon. Take care and stay tuned for more of Grandma's March. Take care. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye, Monica.
Bye. Thank you. Take care.